Welcome, welcome, everybody. There's something wrong here. It says I went live, but I don't see me live on YouTube. What's going on? Anyway, hey, hello, everybody. What day is this? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, I think this is. And I've got a really cool guest on today. I've got Chuey on, and my stream is screwing up here. I don't know what's going on. If anybody out there can see me and hear me, please let me know. It says I'm live, but I don't see me being live. So let me get this figured out. There, it's run away behind for some reason. God, that's lagging like a minute on YouTube. Don't know what's going on here. That's crazy. YouTube is broke. Well, anyway, let me bring him in. Let's meet Chuey. Hey, Chuey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know what's going on here. I normally lag on YouTube a matter of seconds, and I see the video on another monitor, and this time it was like a minute. So, okay, everybody can see me. That hasn't happened in a very long time. Let me say hi to a few people.
Okay.
Let's see, non-fam, how you doing? Betty Boot, 45. Ethan, or Marcus. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Dan. 3D Maker Hub, Daniel. 3D Print Newbie, hello. Dominic, hello. Yeah, I don't know, something's broke. Hey, Kenny. Yeah, it's working now. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, guys, me and Chuey, we were in a hangout last week. Chuey came in. And he's been on my Facebook group for quite a while, 3D printing and painting. And he's been posting some really cool stuff. And I talked to him. And it's like, wow, you'd be an awesome guest. So here he is. So anyway, Chuey, yeah, we're live on my Facebook page. We're live on YouTube. And if you might be restreaming it, I'm not sure what you're doing.
That's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get like the link sent out to my Facebook and all the people that was wanting to see it. So there we go. I got that out there now.
Awesome. So tell me, who's Chuey? What exactly do you do, and who's Chuey?
Well, Chuey is Chuey is me, and I do a lot of different things. I've recently taken up 3D printing. Started off with FDM about 2 or 3 years ago. Between there, thanks to my older brother Charlie giving me one of his broken 3D printers, and he's like, "Happy birthday! If you could fix it, you could learn to 3D print." Realized he was just grooming me to be able to help him out in his workshop and fix 3D printers when they break down. But honestly, I'm so grateful to him and I still have that printer down here. It's an ANET A8 printer. And yeah, I still have that printer down there. It's the only FDM that I have. It's got a lot of dust on it. I don't think I'm going to use it, but it's what I started with. So
awesome. Yeah, they came a long ways. Their printers have got much better than they were originally, where they had different issues that we won't talk about on the stream. But anyway, yeah. I don't know, how's the weather there? Has it been? You got snow on the ground? How's the weather?
Oh, the weather, it's crazy. It is snowing. It is really snowing. I don't know. Let me see if I can find that picture. I actually went out and measured the snow today. And let's see here. I'll send you that picture here. I meant to save that earlier. Let's see here. Here we go. Copy image. Here, if you want to throw that up there. Yeah. You want to throw that up there? Yeah, I went out and I measured the snow today. And we got hit with a snow and ice storm. It really sucks. Is it cold
here in
there?
Vegas? It's slightly chilly out today, but it's nice weather. You got to almost go out wear shorts outside. Let's see. Here comes the picture. Loading. Yeah, this stream's starting out different than the rest. So you've been into 3D printing for, you say, what, about 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years now. It's roughly about 2.5, 3 years. I'm just going to round up, Well,
there we go. Okay.
So yeah, went out there and I measured the snow. It's not quite balls deep, but it's getting there. And we have another storm heading for us for Thursday. So
yeah.
But so anyways, back in August, I decided to ditch the it was actually back in June, but of course you had to order your PO polys and wait for them to be shipped, because they were still coming out. But I invested in 3 PO poly phenoms, and I was like, I'm going to do something with this, and it's going to make its money back. And so far, it's getting there. But yeah, so I decided to take the plunge into trying to, take my hobby to the next level of it making me some money.
Yeah, I remember when you first got started, weren't you having issues with the phenoms? You're like, why did I buy these?
Oh, I did. Well, I mean, just to realize that not all resins work the same. And the
Oh, yeah.
phenom is a good testament to that because of the sheer fact that, I've only found that Soraya Tech and their own brand is the only two that has worked inside the. I did find an Elegoo water washable that did work once. It wasn't perfect. It had some holes in it, so which means it had some problems with it. But I imagine if I really fine tuned it, I could probably get that resin to work. But again, it's all about the price of the resin. Soraya Tech is amazingly, it's on the cheaper end.
Yeah.
It has very little odor, and it works beautifully in the phenoms. So
My Elegoo Mars that I printed with for about 2 years, and I've used all kinds of resins. I had maybe 2 failures in 2 years. Everything just worked. It was perfect. No problems. I never cleaned the vat. I just dumped it in, started the next print, and then I get the Frozen Mighty 4K. It's a lot bigger, and I had failure after failure after failure, and I tried 5 or 6 different resins. Right now, I'm printing with clear Strytech in it. I've had no issues, but it's almost like the machine had to get broke in. I got it, turned it on, but it's like it had to get broke in like a car. I don't really know how to explain it, but it started getting better. And I can't just dump any resin in it. I've already found that out because I had too many failures. So, yeah, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the issue that I had. And it's just because of, like, it fixed. Now, here's the thing. I have not tried other resins since I started Rainexing the FEP.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that was a lot of the problems with the resins is that it just stuck so much to that FEP and it wouldn't pop. So, hey, Shams. So I have since I started Rainexing the FEP, I have not tried other resins. I've just, Soraya Tech, like I said, is on the cheaper side and it works great. So I kind of don't mess with it since it's working. But I imagine I probably could try some other resins again.
I've been using PTFE lube on the Elegoo Mars, and I started out using that in the Frozen Mighty 4K. But I went to Rainex, like you were talking about, and a few other people suggested, and I occasionally hear a pop, not very often. So I've done a couple prints today, and I didn't even notice it popping at all. So maybe that is helping quite a bit on that bigger screen.
I got my printers labeled A, B, and C. And so today I had B, or the other day I just replaced the LCD screen, the FEP, Rainexed it and everything, made sure everything was tip-top. I re-leveled the bed, everything. And then I decided to take another print with it, which was for a customer recently, and it came out perfect. I mean, it came out beautifully. I didn't see any issues. Before I was having holes and I'd have to patch holes in it and then, fix it down and work on the model. But now it's actually, since I replaced that LCD screen, I'm waiting. I am interested though in maybe switching it to a monochrome screen if I could figure out a way to find that size monochrome screen, or maybe just modify the Phenom's bed with a different bracket that will fit in there.
I'm looking at some of the things you sent me here, and of course, I know growing up, you're an Eagle Scout, you're in a Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. I never was.
I actually made Boy Scout of the Year. I actually have the trophy. I still have the trophy right over there that I got when I was 17.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're a volunteer firefighter and an EMT for a matter of 4 or 5 years?
Yes, from my hometown. That's true.
In Indiana?
Yes. The town that shall not be named.
All right. Yeah, and you used to live in Las Vegas for a time, right?
Yes. Yeah, I lived in North Las Vegas. I've lived all over this country. And then I've lived in my semi, all over the traveling from coast to coast, up and down. I just been an interesting life. What it is I hate television.
Okay, I love TV.
I hate to me, it's there's just so much more I could be doing than just sitting there and staring and drooling on myself and watching TV. Now I do have a show. I got to the point where I'll binge watch like one single show. So when it's TV time, this is the show that we watch until we're finished, and then we move on to the next one. Right now we're doing Shameless, but that's about it. Like, other than that, I'm like behind my computer, building websites, or I got 3 websites to build now. I got a phone app to do. I have I got 3D prints to get done, and I just ordered a vacuum chamber, a pressure pot, and a what do you call that? A rotocaster. So I want to be able to get into casting as well, and I've been watching a lot of videos, taking notes, learning how to cast, because I want to start casting some of these models instead of just 3D printing them every time and burning up my screen. I would rather just cast them. I can cast them, make them cheaper, make them look just as good as if I 3D printed it, because I've got the molds, and I can sell them a lot cheaper if I cast them that way.
Yeah, Marcus has a question for you.
Okay.
Did you keep any of your Pinewood Derby cars?
Yes, I do. It's not here in my office, but I do have one at my dad's house. It was called Cool Blue, and I won with it. And I actually took a little thing and made a little stand with a nail, and I made a trophy for it that said Cool Blue, and it's still at my dad's house. But yes, I still have my Pinewood Derby cars.
I'd like to share my screen here. Let me see. Let me find it.
All right.
Here. Get the right one. I know you said you're a truck driver, and you had an incident that happened, and this is over on YouTube, and anybody wants to watch it, but this is pretty crazy.
You can show it if you want. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Right, don't know if you can hear it, but let me go ahead and play it. I'll turn the volume up on it. It's only 43 seconds long, guys.
This is my dash cam from my semi from when I had my accident. This is what took me off the road, going back and forth long distance, and I went local. Was after this accident here, but I was going down I-55 South in Illinois by Bloomington or Bloomfield or something like that, Illinois, and the wind had caught my trailer, pushed it over into the medium where my tires went over, and that happens.
Yeah, that was pretty horrible.
Yeah, that was. And it's funny because I got that reminder, and I have a friend who in Second Life, it's my mother-in-law. Hello. I have a friend in Second Life who does drag races, and he does them with semis. And I do it too. When I jump on there, I'll drag race with them, like I did the other night. And when they have semi racing, he'll turn it on his side, and he actually uses the sound clip from that video while he's going down the drag strip of me saying, "Oh fuck." Yeah, that's the sound of his truck going down the track, and that by the time it hits the end of the track, you hear the crash, and it's just, yeah, I can laugh about it now. It got me out. It got me out of going over the road, and actually got me home local, and I was able to get married and change my life forever and get into 3D printing. So
now you're a local delivery driver, and you got your other businesses you're working on the side, trying to get them up and off the ground.
Yeah, I've got I have actually multiple businesses. I have a store on eBay where I went to a flea market, and I bought a booth that has a bunch of little decorative plaques, and I have those up on eBay. So I have a eBay store. And then I also have my LithyPic 3D resin printing, and then soon I'm going to have Hypnotic Pipes. Cool. Is my third business that I am starting.
Yeah, I can pull up that other website here in a minute. Let me jump into a few pictures here.
There's not a website there, but I've got it. I've got the domain. I just have to do it. So, but yeah, this is my skull that I done. This is the Surfer skull. It's got a little. It's only, that one is 6 inches tall.
That's resin or PLA?
It's resin. Everything's resin.
Okay. Here's a Darth Vader.
Yeah, that was Darth Vader. I scuffed him up some. And I wanted him to look like he just got out of a battle.
Next pic looks real nice.
That right there is the Joker's hand, and that is the card that is a replica of the one that he used in the Dark Knight when he was meeting with the gangsters towards the beginning, where he put down, he's like, "Here's my card," and this is the Joker that they used. So I had it reprinted and slide it into that model. and you can actually see it. It's right there. So.
All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay, this is your glow clue cube that you're advertising. You can, let's see, share. Chuey,
I am here to debut my latest project, the Glow Cube. The Glow Cube is a high-definition resin 3D printed lithophane light box. Well, that's a mouthful. Here's what we do. Upload any 4 photos on our website at LithyPic.com. We take the photos, Photoshop them, convert them into a 3D object. We then print them out on our new state. The Glow Cube comes with a bulb that can change 16 different colors and has 4 different lighting styles and a long cord for those hard-to-reach sockets. The Glow Cube is a perfect personal gift for any occasion or holiday, such as anniversaries, birthdays, graduations, Christmas, or just to make someone smile. It is a great way to get yourself out of the doghouse and off the couch. Show someone you love them today by making their memories glow. Visit LithyPic.com.
So yeah, I do make lithophanes. I'm working on making my own frame that I'm going to cast, and then I'm going to make the plates interchangeable on the box, and I'm going to make it to where the bulb comes up, so there'll actually be 5 pictures on it, and all the pictures will be in color.
very cool.
So,
You know, Matt German, a friend of mine on YouTube or on Facebook, he drops in a lot of the streams. He's doing tons of lithopanes. He's printing out on pictures. He's putting colored backdrops that he prints out behind them, and then the fish or whatever the scene is lights up accordingly to that color.
yeah. I mean, it's actually built into the website that you can go to and 3D print it, and as long as you support it. So, but yeah, you can actually, it will give you the lithophane and it'll give you the backdrop that you print. I'm just trying to build up enough money to be able to afford a laser color printer, so this way I can be able to crank out multiple ideas, and this way I want to be able to do it all in color. And then I'm going to cast the I'm going to actually cast the frame that it's going to go into, and then once when I cast all those, I'm going to be able to paint them up, make them look like wood or marble or whatever, and then slip the pictures in, so this way.
How many resin printers do you currently have? Just the 3 phenoms, or do you have any others?
I have 3 phenoms, and I got the Elegoo Mars. I'm wanting to get the Elegoo Saturn, but every time I have the money, it's sold out.
Yeah.
Every time. And then they got the guys that buy them and then jack the price double and sell them on eBay.
Yeah.
So.
And do you still have any FDM printers other than that one? Do you print with FDM at all? Or
No, I actually sold them. I had a father and daughter. Daughter was taking engineering classes in high school, and she wanted to get into 3D printing. And he had bought a this CR10, I think it is. No, the one that's right behind you on your one side, the big one.
Hypercube?
Yeah, it looked like that.
Okay.
But I went there, and one of the bars that held the bed was just completely warped. And I told him, like, you'll never be able to level the bed with this. So, I mean, we could have tried to unwarp it, but he had just got it from Micro Center and like took it home that day, had it all set up. He's like, I can't get it to work right. And I went in there, and yeah. So he was frustrated, and he took it back. And then he asked me, he's like, what's a good out of the box printer? I said, the one's collecting dust on my desks. So, I mean, I wasn't doing anything with them. I really was kind of frustrated with FDM. So I decided just to walk away from it and invest in the resin printing. And now that I just saw that PO Poly has the XL now, yeah, that's my goal. I want an XL. I mean, they're expensive, but they're huge. Like the build plate on that is like, it holds 2 liters of juice. But I mean, you could do full helmets with probably the other stuff with it.
Yeah, here's a model I've been working on. It's from Wicked's Patreon, the Black Panther bust. Here's one.
Oh, nice.
Here, let me make myself big for a minute. Here's one of the faces. And as you can see, it's got his head built into the back of it. So you wouldn't glue this on once it's done. You would just interchange it with his other heads. But the quality came out awesome. This is done on the Mighty 4K. Then here's his regular head. His hair is currently printing. That's why it's flat on top. You print it separate. That way it's less chance for, it makes it easier to paint and less chance for any kind of failures. But yeah, and then his chest, which I done in clear resin, I'm going to prime it and paint it. But that's done in clear. So once I do my video on it, I'll prime it in the video, and then you can see all the detail on it. But basically, his head would just sit on like that. And this sits on his base, which is in there curing right now. And that's going to be awesome when I get it done. Yeah, get that painted up. That's
nice.
Really, really killer. So that's my current project I'm working on. So
I'm actually right now, I'm just waiting on the last piece of my equipment to come in that I ordered for the video making. I'm just waiting on my microphones to show up. But when I get my microphones, I've decided to start with my first YouTube, where I'm going to take a print. I'm going to use 2 of my printers, actually all 3 of my printers, and I'm going to do a head-to-head with. I'm going to do the same model, same orientation on both Chi2 box and Lychee, and I'm going to print them both on separate printers at the same time, do a time lapse on it, and then show the difference between the 2 different slicers, and if there is any differences. I just want to be able to put them up to the test and see what happens if I took the same model back and forth, and definitely publish my findings. So,
and all you guys watching, go over to lithypics.com. I've got it down below in the description. But here's his site right here. He doesn't have many videos up yet, but what's going on? Is that flickering on your side?
Wow.
I don't know why it's flickering.
Yeah, it's flickering on my side.
But it's lithypic.com. Let me quit sharing that.
You can go to lithypic.com and just click on videos up in the top toolbar, and it will take you right to my 3D channel. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers so I can get that vanity URL. So if you can definitely go there and subscribe. I'm hoping to have my first video up here in the next week or 2.
Awesome.
With all this being snowed in and everything else, I mean, got nothing but time. So I've just been trying to get everything set up, ready, and getting things. I got all the software installed on the laptop. I've got 4 different camera angles that I can play with. So when we do airbrush, I actually have a friend of mine. His name is Joe Evans from Liquid Vision. Big shout out to him. He's going to be featured in my videos as well. He is a professional airbrush artist. And when I mean professional, I mean people mail him stuff from all around the world just to paint it and send it back, because he does mostly Predator heads. I mean, he has got a big, huge collection of Predator and Star Wars stuff that he's done. He's got big display cases of dioramas that he paints. Wow. And I love being his friend on Facebook, because you literally see what he's doing every day. And I'm like, come on, let's do that on here. So I definitely want to get Joe up on there. So we're going to what I'm going to do is the first video is going to be 3D printing it and seeing the differences. And then the next video is going to be me going over to his shop and him teaching me airbrushing. You know, we're both going to do the same model at the same time, and he's going to teach me tricks, and I'm going to follow along, and everybody can learn how to airbrush from that. And then we'll be doing that regularly. So there will be not just, and then we'll also be having casting videos. As I learn how to cast, I'll be redoing that and teaching others what I've learned.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, I watched a video recently where somebody was painting some eyes, and the camera was at an angle, and what they needed to do, and I realized they had a lighting issue and they couldn't do it. Unfortunately, they need to put their camera right here by their chest. So when they're working on the eyes, you can actually see what they're painting. Because the camera was on the side and their hand was in the way, you couldn't actually see what they're painting. So it's hard to get that camera angle right to get.
Well, see, that's why I wouldn't do it live. I'm not going to do that stuff live. I'm actually going to record it, and then I'm going to cut the content down. So this way I can zoom in on it and then actually zoom in on what he's working on, and so you can be seeing.
Yeah, we got a bunch of
Thank
people
you, SPC.
Subs to you. Tripods Garage, SPC 3D subbed. And I'm sure, I think Marcus subbed. But yeah, more subs are better. Everybody, please help them out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And let's jump into some other
Okay. It says there's no audio coming through. Why is that?
I can hear you.
Oh, I don't.
I think everybody out there watching us can hear us.
Yeah, it's not that. It's my audio. It's not
Oh.
hearing on my thing.
Mandalorian. Yeah, I printed this really big for my son a long time ago, like 200%. I printed one about yay big. He has it on the stand. It's nice.
Yeah.
And did you say this was resin printed? That looks like it's FDM, and you painted it face up.
No, that one is FDM.
Okay. Yeah, I learned my lesson when I first started printing. Don't ever put anything face up. You'll get ringing. But it looks real good, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dan just subbed.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan.
All right, there we go. I imagine you guys can hear me now.
Oh, were you restreaming too, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading this.
Okay, so there are questions I can't see, so you'll have to randomly answer them.
Oh. Yeah, I can't see those either.
Take care of TK. Yeah, TK does a lot of resin. He does miniatures. He's really super into resin, everything. He uses
awesome.
LithyPic. He doesn't like Cheetah Box or doesn't care for it. I have downloaded LithyPic, but I haven't played with it much.
I went and bought it. I bought LithyPic, and so far what I've tried of it, which was very low. I keep going back to like I just did another lithophane glow cube the other day for my nephew for Valentine's Day, and I went straight to Cheetah Box because that's what I've been so comfortable with, and I got the process down. I got everything set to a certain everything, so this way it comes out right, because I haven't translated that over to LithyPic yet. I want to, but I don't want to do it on a customer's cube. I'd rather do one on one of my cubes and then go from there, and and to see how it comes out and stuff. So
the frame you're printing out in resin also, then everything's resin.
Everything's resin. It's all one. It's all just two pieces. Is the box, and then there's the lid.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to the glow cubes.
That was my resin print getting done. Hair. I assumed that you were FDM in the frame and then you're putting all the slides in it, but okay.
No, it's all one piece, actually. It's all solid.
That's awesome.
And I actually do print it flat. I put holes in the bottom of it for air and for the resin to be able to pass through. So when I print it flat, when it hits that flat piece, it doesn't rip it, doesn't stick to the FEP and rip it off its supports. So I put holes in it on the bottom, and then that allows it to pour, to sift through, and it doesn't create a pool there that will mold all. When I first started, the supports were melding together because the resin had nowhere to go, and it stayed trapped between the cube and the raft. And then it would harden in there. And then, I was like taking a saw and cutting it, and I was like, this can't be right. And so I started putting holes in the bottom of it. So
aftercare with resin, do you mean disposing of supports, or what do you mean, Daniel? Because when I break off supports, I have a kitchen trash can sitting by me that I break all the supports off in, and then I rinse everything in green mean and my ultrasonic cleaner. Then I go to IPA, completely rinse it out and wipe it down really good. From there, I go to the kitchen sink, rinse everything off with water after I dump out all the IPA, and there's no more residue. Then I completely dry it out 100%, and then I cure it. And as far as for leftover resin, there's never leftover resin. It's always going into the vat.
Yeah. And then I clear my vats between every print. It depends. If I'm doing back-to-back printing, I won't. If I didn't feel like there was any problems or anything or any issues, I can go back-to-back with no problems. But if I've let more than 12 hours sit between prints, then I will clean the resin out, Rain-X, and then go through the whole process all over again.
With my Mars, I never did, but with this bigger one, when I first started using it, it'd come down. I heard like a crunch sound, like, oh no! So I stopped it, pulled it up, dumped the vat, checked it. There was nothing in it. It was just growing pains, I guess, from it being a new printer. But I've had so many failures, I have to dump the vat every time. Earlier today, when I printed something in clear, I don't remember what it was. Oh, the base I printed in clear, which I'm going to prime. I could see there was nothing in it, but I went ahead and checked it with my spatula from the Mars, and there was nothing there. So I went ahead and added more and started the next print. But typically, I'm afraid of ripping the FEP or breaking the screen. It's so big, because if a support or something broke off, I don't want to come down and crunch it on such a big screen. So it just takes, a matter of 2 minutes to dump it. wipe it out,
Yeah.
put in more Rain-X, and then put more resin in. It's pretty fast and simple.
Well, especially if you don't, I mean, you would hate to have that one little like support that's sitting down inside there that broke off and you didn't know it. And like you said, it comes down, you hear that crunch. So sunlight direct on a model. I don't use sunlight. I have my own curing cabinet that I built.
Yeah, you can put it out in the sun. I did a few prints.
I did.
Put outside for like
I mean, I know you can. I've never done it.
like 10 minutes
So-
per side, or you can just use UV light.
And then you got to watch for your LCD screens going bad. I noticed that mine was going bad. This was a resin print that went bad. I don't know if you can see that or not, but he's got some holes right there in him. Yeah, he went bad.
And then I'll take a Q-tip to fill drain holes with a Q-tip and a UV flashlight. So I couldn't tell in the picture, are those small enough that you can just fill them? Hit them with a flashlight?
I probably could, but you know what? I ended up reprinting that plate anyways because I had made a cube for that cube that I was telling you about. I made for my nephew. I actually have it right back there. It had a big, huge split in it for when the screen went bad.
Yeah, clear coat that has UV protection. I've heard of that, but I've never tried it.
This
when I
is
paint
what
something clear, I hit it with. If I print and clear and I want it to stay clear, once it's done and I clean it, then I'll hit it with some UV before I cure it. I'll hit it with some spray before I hit it with UV.
Now, when you say you use a UV flashlight to be able to cure the inside, this is what I use, and it was just this. It's just this piece that screws onto this flashlight right here. And it's just a cap that I 3D printed. And it was a video that I found on YouTube. And it has 3 pieces to it. All right, see there's a little chuck inside there that will expand to kind of help grip it. And then I put this cap back on. And this UV flashlight I have only has one single diode in it right there. So basically what you're doing is, and I bought this specific to the video that he's like, this is the one that I bought. This is how he did it. And so then I bought fiber optic tubing. And I bought
you can buy a single fiber optic tube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only I think this on Amazon. If you get it on eBay and wait 3 weeks, you can get it for $2. If you want to do it in 2 days, it's like I think it was like $18 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I did both because I got impatient, and I'm just an impatient person.
And that's for a 5 millimeter drain hole.
4
millimeters.
This is it's a 4 millimeter drain hole. This is 3 millimeters right here. Okay. So. But the beauty of it is, since it's fiber optic, it will carry the light all the way to the very tip, and it even comes right out the tip. So you can just run this up inside of a model. Here, I got one right here. So I could just run this right up inside this model right here, right into my one of my drain holes. This was actually my breather hole that I had. And I could just go up inside here. And I could just turn it around, move it around, and it hits different spots. And I just kind of just go around and cure the inside, and it gets rid of all that stickiness and stuff like that. And it's very simple, basic 3D print. I mean, well, I think I even made that on my Mars with Hero resin. Mm-hmm. I made that cap just so it would last because it had so much UV coming out of it. So
I bought a bunch of little light bulbs. I hook a little diode up to a capacitor on a battery, and I was sticking the head of that light in some of my prints. I don't do it as often as I used to, but on some prints I do that.
Come on, turn off. There we go.
But that fiber optic line would be much easier for me to work with. Maybe I'll buy one of those.
Yeah. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll go back through my history and I will find that YouTube video that has all the information and how to set it up and everything else. And I'll give that to you, and you can post it to everybody else, and you guys can make yourself one.
All right.
My wife's like, why don't you make those and sell those? I'm like, because the only people that want them would be 3D printers, and they can make it themselves. And
A lot of people don't want to, and they're like, because you have it or he has it, they want it from that person. That happens quite often. People just don't want to
Contact me if you want one of those made. I've got multiple fiber optic cable that is left over, and I got the files and everything already ready done, and I'll make you one.
Yeah,
So,
Maker was talking about after print is painted in resin, leaving it on a shelf in sunlight. If it's already cured, I don't think it's going to hurt it. I don't think it's going to get more brittle. Might the heat get to it, depending on where you live? That would.
Well, UV light's already damaging to acrylic anyways. I mean, unless you clear coat it. I mean, if you're going to seal it, that's a different job. But most likely, you're going to seal a print anyways if you're going to paint it. You're not going to just throw paint on it and be like, I hope to gosh nothing happens. You seal it so if something does happen, it doesn't damage the paint job.
Whether it's a matte finish or a high gloss, you need to put something on the paint, otherwise you'll scratch
definitely.
it.
You don't want, I mean, because in all honesty, too, another thing is when you airbrush these models and you touch them with the oils in your fingers, if you don't have that sealed and someone touches that 3D, that acrylic, they're going to leave their fingerprints in your paint job. You don't want that. So you got to seal your paint, your paint. So.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, when I worked construction, I was watching the guys that are doing the fiber optics in one of the Zappos building downtown. They, Zappos, Amazon, the shoe store. And they said fiber optics is so small, like little pieces of glass, they would have to wear gloves handling with it because they could get into your blood system that quick. It's so microscopically small that have to be really careful handling it, which I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So
I can't imagine that guy having to sit there and, fuse together over 1,000 of those one at a time. That's what they do in those trucks.
What type of tube? Henry Lynn is wondering what that was you were holding up.
It's just a fiber optic 3mm tube. It's just a 3mm. It's just a glass solid tube.
And he plugged it into a UV flashlight.
Yeah, and you're basically just putting it right over top the light bulb. So when it sits on top of the light bulb like this, the light bulb just shines right through it and comes out the tip. And that's all it is.
Hello, Travis. Let's go back to some pictures here. Where are we at? Okay, this one you showed a bit ago when you were talking, and that I believe was FDM, and you printed it face up, correct?
No, I printed that straight up.
So I'm seeing a lot of ringing on the face right here, so I'm assuming it was straight up.
Yeah, it was straight up.
All right. We got a little Yoda.
That's resin. And my wife just painted that one, so.
Nice job. There's the Batman.
That's FDM. That was my Batman that I converted into a bank.
And Yoda.
That's the same one, yeah. It's FDM.
And what guy is that? I forget his name.
That's the Tick.
Okay,
That's the Tick. Spoon. That was my very first ever 3D print. That was the first thing that I ever 3D printed. That's the back of it.
And
so
here's the side of it.
There's the side of it. It's the Yoda Buddha. I mean, I'm not Buddhist, but I love Star Wars and Yoda, and I just thought that was I thought it was funny. It was a fat Yoda.
I seen this print a long time ago online. It wasn't painted, and I didn't think that was his foot down below his robe there, but I can see obviously it's a foot now that it's painted. But anyway. Let's go up here to the comments, see what we got. Henry said, thank you. New fiber optic training equipment. Yeah, Kenny Briggs is on a lot of my hangouts. He owns a metal detecting store. I forget what state that was in, but he wrote a book and done quite a bit of stuff.
I always, you know what? I never had a metal detector, but I've always wanted a metal detector for those moments I wish I had a metal detector.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to make a hobby. I don't have beaches around me, and I definitely don't want to go out there and like look up, take it to cornfields out here because there's plenty of bodies buried in them, and I don't want to find them. So yeah, so I've always wanted a metal detector. Now today I actually I lost my ring, and it was I thought it went down inside the trash can with all my resin, soaked rags, and everything else. And I'm looking at the trash can like, oh no! And then luckily my wife found another table.
Yeah, my wife says I have a dirty mind. Yeah, that's just how my brain works. I'm sorry. I mean, if you
said yes,
if you
just
show
remember that.
If you
said yes,
show a print and go, look, it's almost 9 inches long. I said, yeah, I wish, or I'd say something about it. That's just the way my mind works. So, Yeah, it says you got into broadcasting in 2006. You started
Yes.
an internet radio channel, and go ahead and tell us a little bit about your career in broadcasting. Because when I first seen you on the live stream, it's like, dude, you've been on the radio, haven't you? Just by the way your mannerism is, the way you talk.
Yeah, my wife thought that was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
I did. I was in radio for like 5 years. I started off with hypnotic radio. This is way back in like '06, I want to say. And yeah, I want to say it's about '06. And back then, we didn't have all the technology that we have nowadays and all the things that you can do and streaming and stuff. So it was very archaic back then. And you had a shoutcast server, had a website, had to stream up on there. And we had regular scheduled DJs that would come on, talk, play music. You know, and it was just us fooling around, wishing we were all on the radio. But the beauty of it was internet, so you could say whatever you want. I was one of the first guys to ever take callers on internet radio. And I did it by dog-earing microphones with my speakerphone and mounting a little lapel mic onto the speaker.
Uh-huh.
And then running it over into my sound equipment, and then so I could be able to pick up what they're saying. And of course, they heard me, and the microphone heard me. So when I was talking, but yeah, I figured out a way to jury rig, be able to take callers, and we used to do prank calls all the time. Sorry, we used to do prank calls all the time, like just it was so hilarious. It was so funny. And then that sparked me to go to school for it. So I actually ended up going to school for Ohio Center for Broadcasting and got into FM radio and found out the truth and got out of it because I didn't like it. Wow. It was not what you would think. It's no one really. I interned at WEBN in Cincinnati. And then I left there after my internship. I did some video internship, and then I went and worked for WRBI in Batesville, Indiana. And I was making $6 an hour for 6 hours a week. So I was making $36 a week. And the only way I could make any extra money was to do the live on locations, and I had to go out and sell them. But yeah, I was all voice tracked. So I would come in for like 6 hours once a week and read this script on the, like I was live, and they would just record it and slip it in. And I did 20 hours of broadcasting a week, but it was all recorded within 6 hours.
All right. Rick had a question here. I've never printed with nylon,
Yeah.
Rick. Anybody in chat, have you ever printed with nylon?
I have never done nylon.
Not familiar with nylon. I know I got nylon in the garage for my weed eater, but I've never tried to print with that. I don't know. And Kenny Briggs, he says he has 15 metal detectors in Wisconsin.
Wow, 15 metal detectors. If anybody brings a gun in your house, you would know it.
Let's see here. Let me jump into some more pictures. And this is the back of it, and that's nice. That's from Sanix, I believe. He released that around Halloween.
Yeah, that was his Halloween freebie that he did. I thought it was really cool. And this was painted by Joe Evans from Liquid Vision. So, I mean, this is he painted this in like a half hour. Like, it's funny because his shop is actually a tattoo shop. He's a tattoo artist.
Uh-huh.
So he makes his fast money there. But then when he's not tattooing, he's in the back airbrushing stuff for other people and then sending it out. So
I have printed in resin. I started to print it really big on my FDM. Then I had a clog or something. I don't remember, but I never finished it on FDM. But I did do that in resin. I've been buying stuff from Sanix since I've been in the 3D printing for about 4 years now.
So are you a member of his group?
No, I'm not.
Patreon?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not in the club.
I printed most of his models, and so
yeah, now he's got his Patreon group that you pay a monthly, like it's like $10 a month, and then he just releases models to them, just like I do at Hex 3D, which I highly recommend any 3D printer guy. And I don't get paid to say this or anything like that, but I have to say Hex 3D's Patreon group is one of the best ones I belong to.
Yeah,
highly recommend. So definitely him.
He works for that show Counting Cars. It's on the Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's their polished guy. He does all their buffing and polishing and waxing in all their vehicles. I worked on his printer here recently at my house, and he buys a lot of stuff from that Patreon that you're talking about. He's mentioned him to me before. And
He's
yeah,
a little Grogu nuts, but yeah, I mean, but he's got some great stuff, and I mean, some really great prints. He's got full suit armors, but the way it works is you pay $10 a month, and you get access to his starter kit, and then this month's models. And then after you've paid 3 months in a row, or up to 3 months, and you've waited out the 3 months, you then get full access to all his stuff, and he's got the full armors, helmets, props. He's got all of that in there. Tons of stuff.
post a link in chat if you could. Red Like would like it, and whoever else, if you could post a link to that.
Yeah. I will.
Either on YouTube or post it in private. Either way, and I'll put it up, or you can.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to do it like this. Never mind.
X3D.
Yeah, I got to do it on this one over here.
How you doing, Tony? Yeah, Tony, when I seen that model yesterday at Spawn, I had to tag you in that. I mean, come on. Somebody is ripping you off, and they're charging what they're doing. But anyway, yeah, they need to come to you, pay just a little bit more, and get it from the source. So I tagged you intentionally when I seen that. So, but maybe the guy bought it and totally had no idea and didn't know that it belonged somewhere else. But I figured I'd pay attention.
Do I have the ability to put anything in here, or I could put it in the private chat and then you can drop it in there?
Yeah, or if you got YouTube open, you can drop it straight in YouTube either way.
I don't have YouTube open.
Okay.
So there you go. I dropped it in there. You can give it to him, but that's the link to his Patreon. And like I said, it's really well worth it. And I see a lot more. Yeah,
here you go.
People following him and people going straight to the Patreon, and I like that better. I would rather support a couple artists that will do this, where I can pay like $10 a month and I just get your models, And the beauty of Hex 3D is you actually have the ability to sell them on Etsy if you want and stuff like that. That's part of it. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely follow him, and it's worth the $10 a month to get. He literally last month put 16 models out in that month, so it's almost one every 2 days, and there's some really great stuff. Full access is the best way, so definitely just stick in there. He won't unlock it, so don't ask him. You have to wait 3 months to be able to get the full access. But once you get full access,
I'm a member of Mr. Bagley's Patreon, the Star Wars group. I recently became a Patreon. I
I don't know that one. You have to send me that one.
Okay, it's from our live stream that we're having Friday on the Droid Build Series Part 2 on my channel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Last week is on Tripod's channel. Yeah, Mr. Bagley. They have different tiers. Obviously, $1 a month, $5 a month, and I believe 10 a month. And it's well, anyway, what I was trying to say is I'm not a member of a Patreon because if you look around me, I literally have hundreds and hundreds of models that aren't painted. I have a zillion on 2 different computers. I got them on flash drives. That's why I'm not a member of Patreon. So I have so much stuff that I haven't printed, plus what I already got printed and haven't painted. But I still print on stuff.
Well, and I've gotten to the point now where I just will not buy I'm just not going to buy models anymore that I can't sell on my website or my Etsy page. It's come down to that, because yes, I appreciate them being the modelers, and I can't model and I don't have that skill. If you ask me to draw a stick figure, I will literally give you somebody round. I mean, I suck at modeling, drawing, things like that. I can manipulate tons of stuff, video, audio, graphics. I'm a graphics designer, but when it comes to freehand drawing, I just cannot do it. So
there's a lot of stuff there. The bottom shelf there is mostly unpainted. The middle shelf mostly painted, and I got stuff on the top. And then here's my little Etsy thing I tried to get going, but I'm asking a lot for my models. And the only thing I've sold on Etsy in 3 months has been 1 sticker. So at some point, maybe I'll move a model. If not, I'll have to drop my prices and eat it. So,
it's also the economy too. So, and then a lot of people who are into painting models are already 3D printing thanks to resin printing. There's that Ecto I want to do that Ecto so bad. That's going to be a video. I'm going to do a video on that Ecto.
That's on Cults 3D. It's only a $10 model. I mean, you get the sound files, the PDF file, everything you need, the sticker file, everything is there. It's only $10.
I want to take it and then I want to wire it up, and then I want to encase it in epoxy.
And because I haven't worked on it in a while, I actually took the time to build a shelf above my resin printer just to set it on. And it takes up most of the shelf. But yeah, it needs to get finished sometime. I don't know when. I'm going to say sometime this year. That gives me till Christmas. I don't know when I'll have it done, but hopefully at some point I'll get it done.
Yeah, and I totally get it. I totally understand completely, because Yeah, I have so many models behind me that still are waiting to be 3D printed. I've got models in front of me. I can literally pull them out for days. Right there's one. You know, I've got I love this little, the guns got broke off, but I'm going to fix them. But it's a ATST, but it's a Volkswagen ATST.
Oh, cool.
And that's
Yeah.
one of Hex 3D models, is this Volkswagen. I wanted to do it so bad. I'm going to do a bigger one. Like I said, I got another one of these that is right completely. So that's good to go. So I got that to airbrush. I got this moon skull that I need to airbrush that has this astronaut on top of it. I've got this, I got this to airbrush right here and fix. I've got the Sandix Schwarzenegger back there done. I've got this Joker Hush one done. I got the 4 stones from the Fifth Element, but I found a better version on Hex 3D that I'm going to do a video on, of actually installing the LEDs in them and doing the crystals and clear resin and all that. And I'm going to make a video about that, of making that process and making these desk lamps. This could be one of the things that I'm planning on doing.
Yeah, I see Rick Landon has a question. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. It's called fan art. Whenever a designer makes anything, it's called fan art. And you're not paying Disney anything. It's fan art. Most of the stuff isn't 100% exactly like the original, but it's fan art. You're allowed to paint. You're allowed to reproduce it.
So,
and my wife said, "Yeah, you can stop printing and just paint." Yeah, I got enough. So I could paint for the rest of my life. But yeah, there's always something else I see, or somebody will design something. Like, oh God, I gotta have that. So
yeah,
always something else I want to do. And then when I want to make videos, I want new content. So I get different things from different people and go that route.
And that's why with my channel, I wanted to get to the point where my videos are not going to be live. I wouldn't mind having a discussion forum like this, and I enjoy this. In fact, I want to kind of do something like this, not just in the realm of 3D printing and painting, but I also love music. I'm really big on that. I got a lot of people in the music industry that I can pull on and talk with, and so I want to do a little bit of everything. I want to be able to take people's original music, and I want to actually do like time-lapse videos of my 3D prints and then sync it with unheard music, just so, hey, look, watch this printer work and listen to this song, and go that route. I want to do stuff like that, and it wouldn't be hard for me to do. And I've got multiple cameras and tripods and lights and everything else, so I know I got the knowledge. I just need to do it.
There's Matt there. I believe you met him when you were on my Hangout the other day. He does lots of lithophanes. He's doing lots of lithophanes.
I'm the same way because I belong to like special STLs and all these Facebook groups and the Discord ones are so hard to keep up with. It's not even funny. Like the Discord groups that they have on there for models, and the models they sling in there are that nobody sees. Like if you're not part of that Discord channel, you're not going to see those models, but there's just tons and tons of models, and it's like $10, $15, $10, $10, and it's like, $2,000 later, I've got all these models, and it's like,
over on Facebook, there's a group called 3D Model Crowdfund, and one of the people that runs the group is in chat, Tony Chambers, and they have a Discord channel also. They have tons of cool models that STLs that you can buy from them and print and paint. They're really awesome. And then, of course, special STL group over on Facebook also.
But again, it comes down to I am not buying any models unless I have permission from the modeler that I can sell their models on my site and on Etsy. That's the only way I'm going to pay for a model anymore, because it's nice to pay $17 and have that, but I would rather, I want to be able to make money as well, so.
Well, most modelers, almost everybody that's out there, they usually have a limit like 10 or less. They don't really care. Anything above and beyond that, you need to contact them and you guys privately work something out.
Yeah, and that's what I do is I contact these modelers before I ask.
Work all that out. Most people will typically work with you. Just get a hold.
I mean, if you're mass producing something and you're selling a lot of it, they deserve a kickback for their design.
Sold after
sure. But I'm not gonna give them like $5 for every model that I sell. When I only sell 2 models, and I got to worry about, okay, I got to pay this model and then this model, this modeler, so, but if it is something that does go and take a lot, then I know that modeler and I know I'll go and give them kickbacks.
Yeah. And typically, most people don't sit there and print the same thing over and over and over. Most designers know that's not going to happen. They'll think, okay, well, for me, for instance, Anybody that knows me or watches my channel, Jerry does one. He usually never paints it. If he does, God forbid he'll ever do a second one. I mean, like I done a Spawn from Tony Chambers. I done one with my son, like 250%. It's huge. It's massive.
I saw that. That was badass. That was
smaller one sell, and I contacted Tony. Of course, he didn't care if I put it up for sale. It's still for sale, but if I don't sell it, I'll just keep it. But it takes so much time to print and clean up and paint, and it's really time consuming. So most,
in all honesty, the best place to take that and sell it is at a Comic-Con. You go to a Comic-Con with a table full of 3D prints that are painted up, and they'll be gone before you even within the first day.
Comic-Con, that's a big problem that everybody's always trying to resolve. So.
Yeah, and it's sad too, because I'll tell you what. Here's a big one. Go on. I even turned them in for it, but you can go on Etsy and just type in Sanix or X3D or any of these big modelers, and you'll find people who are just buying these models and then they're selling them in a pack for like $12.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's like 1,000 freaking models for $12, and they're just ripping people off for it, and it's disgusting, and like that hurts the modeler. And I turned them in. I contacted Sanix. I contacted every modeler that they listed. I contacted them like, you need to see this website. And there's like multiple ones on Etsy, and it's sad that Etsy allows that stuff. And so when you're a modeler, you need to type in your name into Etsy every once in a while to see if your stuff is being sold.
Yeah,
who's doing it? Did they get permission?
Check on it. I try not to talk about it that much. That way, people that may ever see my stream will go, "Oh yeah, where's that at?" And I don't want to, say who or where or anything. That way, they're not out saying, "Okay, I want to do that." And I encourage it in any way. But
I actually got them removed off of Etsy, so they're gone.
Let's show some more stuff here. Let's see where we at.
It's my little business card holder I made. I resin printed it, painted it up, lacquered it, and I was going with the lithophanes to a flea market in Ohio called Trader's World, and I had a booth set up there during the Christmas season. I made some money. I sold some stuff, and it was a fun experience. And right now, just with it's such a far drive, we decided to stop doing it because it was just, with the Christmas season over with, it was like, we're good.
That center one is really cool. Is that printed?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, one is not printed, but it's holding up my bullet bill. And you're not a 3D printer unless you have made a bullet bill, because every 3D printer that's on YouTube has made bullet bill. And I felt like I could not do a YouTube without having a bullet bill to show off, because every single one that I've watched has got a bullet bill in the corner.
I've never done one.
Really? You've never done a bullet bill?
It took me 3 years to do a benchy. I mean, I just refused to print a benchy since everybody was printing them. I eventually printed a few benchies. So
you never did the bullet bill from Mario.
I haven't. Huh? I need to. I could do one, and I'll see.
You should do like a big one. See, look,
that's just it. I was going to say I should do a big one. My wife's going to go, no, not another big one.
Yeah, you should, like right there, that printer, you can make a big one, and they actually look on Thingiverse. You'll see where it says bullet bill, and it's a different mouthpiece that allows it to have a slot in there to be able to put money in it and turn it into a big bank, because the bottom screws off. So yeah, if you print everything separate pieces, just put that bank piece in there, and you can make a big size bullet bill bank, and then you should give it away online on your show.
Knack 3D, he hasn't made one either. Yeah. Yeah. And Betty's saying no. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it.
I saw it. I'm such an old school Mario guy. I grew up in that area where Nintendo came out, and we used to have to make out with it, to get it to work. And I come from that era. So when I saw, who was it? I think it was 3D Printing Nerd had one up on his shelf.
Yeah.
And then I saw Uncle Jesse have one up on his shelf, and I'm just like, I got to have a bullet bill. And it's like, it was the 3 different resins, 3 different colors. So it was like, it's a challenge. Everybody else has done it. I want to do it too. So
3D Maker Hill was talking about Bernie. Here's a couple Bernies here. Let me let's see. Let me flip my screen around here. Okay, here's Bernie 1 and Bernie 2. Got a couple Bernies down there sitting on chairs. And then I mailed one to Texas, and I mailed one to another friend of mine here in Vegas, Walter.
Yeah. So
I do have a couple Bernies, and they're resin printed. And I had when I I printed it like this on orientation, obviously with supports.
Yeah.
And mixing resins. And once again, on the big printer, I had some feet failures the other day. Twice. I even added more supports. There's no reason in the world why it should have failed. So then I put Ceratec resin in. I reprinted them, and the falling came out fine. And I put a drain hole in his butt, one in his back. And I done a video where it was already in the mean green, and I let it soak. And I picked it up with my hand. I didn't have a glove on, no big deal. And I'm watching it drain. I showed that on Facebook, it draining from his behind, basically the mean green. And people, other than talking about the print or draining, everybody was bashing about not wearing a glove. It's like, come on.
Actually, that is really dangerous to grab out of that rinse water out of your mean green, because now it's been diluted down so thin that it gets up inside your pores. And I've actually had breakouts from doing that. I always wear my gloves. Well, here's mine right here. This is my version. This is from Hex 3D. It's not completely done yet. My wife is working on it. But this is my version of the Bernie.
Oh, cool.
That is the Grogu mittens that I actually sell on my website on lithypic.com. If you want it resin printed, I offer multiple sizes. There is a painted version and an unpainted version. She's working on painting this right now. She's brush painting it. The ones will be actually all my stuff that gets painted or that's sold on my website that is painted and paid for by Painted is actually going to be airbrushed by Joe Evans from Liquid Vision, because I am not good enough to sell other people my paints, because I suck at it and I don't feel good enough to be able to be sellable. But this is the Hex 3D version. It's like like I said, she is not quite done with it, but she did an amazing job. Comes off with a little chair. She made the gold chair, and then of course I put my drain holes on the bottom. And then I try to put my drain holes where my keys are at. So this way it just makes it easier. So, but it just pops in there, and that's him. But
very nice.
I'll show it next time, when it's all said and done and stuff. So
Mac 3D, someday when I have a belt printer, I can print a great big giant one. But anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, the Wall Street guy. I haven't finished painting him, but I got him right here. Let me take you back off full screen.
All right.
He needs some more paint on him, but I did print him out in resin.
The Wall Street guy. I don't know what that is. So.
Yeah, that's a deal with what's it called? GameStop, and driving prices through the roof. So it looks like a little Monopoly guy. I painted him gray, and then I was painting his hair. I was painting everything by hand. His hair is coming out kind of a yellowish orange. It's kind of a weird yellowish green. So I got to airbrush that hair back on, get that going better. Let's see.
My wife wanted me to show this off right here. This is the from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them from the Harry Potter movies. I had 3D printed this a long time ago. She finally painted it up.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
This is her little niffler. Niffling its little coins and stuff like that. This is my wife. She's all proud of that. She likes to brush paint everything. I airbrush. I've been trying to get her to do airbrush, but she's likes the brush painting.
Well, these are cool.
So, yeah, that's actually the first collection I ever done. That was my first painting that I ever really took seriously. Was my wife did half of those and I did the other half, but first I was watching her paint and I'm like, maybe I can try. And so I started to paint. And cartoons are so easy to start off with because there's never any shading. They're all solid color, pieces, and and you can just Google what they look like, so you can just kind of match everything up. So that was my first collection I made. That's all resin printed right there. I am not happy with. That's my wife's paint job on the face. I did the stand and I airbrushed all the black and the white and all that. She did the face and the eyes and that. So that's that's actually from Futurama. That's my Kip and Amy. So, and I did a ship, but I haven't. That's another one of those I need to airbrush. It's on the list of airbrush things to airbrush is my is
And
my
you had a
future
giveaway a
hobby.
while back where you gave away one of your lithophanes, or was that a commercial? Was that staged? Was that an actual?
That was actually real when we very first started. When me and my wife was like, "Hey, we want to do this business," and we came up with the idea. I was just going to do strictly lithophanes only. We ran a contest and local, and this woman here won the contest. So I love this.
Play for a minute.
All right.
Can you hear it?
Turn it all the way up.
Yeah, I'm all the way up.
No, you still got some to go.
We need one, guys. He's really good, beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a great day. You know, she won. She said she had never won anything ever before. She was a local woman. I actually had 2 that were out of town that I shipped to. I gave away 3 of them. And then that was the local one that won. And so I was able to deliver it to her. And I asked her, like, can I just record your reaction? You seeing this for the first time? And she was so gracious. She was so nice. And so, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And I think I've covered all the pictures. Let's see. Oh, no, I haven't. Got a few more here. And
That's FDM. That's my Han Solo.
Okay.
Pinky in the Brain. I love the cartoons. I got like all kinds of cartoons up here. That's that side view of that.
Oh, earlier you were talking about casting, and there's something that you're working on. Do you want me to show that picture on something you're working on?
Yeah, that's fine. I have another business that's coming out. It's going to be called Hypnotic Pipes, and I am going to 3D print this up on my resin printer, and then I'm going to cast it in silicone, and that will be for sale. Hopefully here in the next month or so, I will be having that. And that's going to be a separate entity. That's going to be hypnoticpipes.com. But I haven't got that far yet. But this is just a preview of what is going to be coming. And I do have a new 3D modeler now that is willing to work with me on more intricate pieces and stuff like that. I am originally from Indiana, but I don't live there anymore. I live in outside Columbus, Ohio, in a town called Lancaster, Ohio. But yeah, I'm originally from Indiana.
Yeah, Red Light drops in and streams all the time. He's a scrapper, and he works with computers, hard drives at a wrecking yard and out of his home, and he scraps gold, gets gold out of hard drives and different things, and he's has a pretty interesting garage. He could have his own show on hoarders.
You know, my future goal is also to get into jewelry. I want to be able to smelter. I've got a bunch of rings from Hex 3D that I want to be made for myself, but I don't know anybody that knows how to smelter. I've been trying to find people that smelter, and I cannot find anybody that does, the jewelry melting with the smelter. So I'm like, you know what? If it's so hard to find,
Matt, he was on my live stream a while back. Inside the mind of Matt, Mom does smelting work. He's an electrician, and he melts down aluminum and things and makes casts and molds. And there's a link to him on one of my videos. But if you go to YouTube, or if somebody out there can pull it up real quick, In the Mind of Matt, he's into drones right now, a lot of drones and stuff, but he still smelts and he builds things out of.
I'm just wanting to get some rings made, man. I got these rings out of these nerdy rings from Hex 3D that I just want to. I want to buy the bottle of the. Make a bottle. I want to buy a bottle of the what is that? The castable resin wax that you could 3D print with, and then you can actually smelter that down. And I want to be able to do a show on that where I'm actually printing that off and then sending it out and having it done. But eventually maybe I'll get a smelter and then start learning metallurgy and start doing jewelry and stuff, which is also a very big thing that I'm currently weighing. I'm trying to find my slice, my little niche to dive into and stick with.
How old are you now?
I'm 42. I'm 42 years old.
You got another 50 years to go, so you're going to accomplish more in the light.
Oh hell no, I'm dying young. I'm dying. I don't see myself past 70, man. I like food too much. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. But yeah,
I was in great
I'm
shape.
just gonna enjoy my life. I'm just gonna enjoy what I have.
I retired at 49 from construction, and I was a laborer. I ran the tool room. I drove water trucks, forklifts. I busted my ass, 5 or 6 days a week for like 25 years. And then as soon as I retired, I'm like, I don't need to work no more. And I started having health problems. I've lost most of my muscle. My wife's like, well, you don't look like the man I married. Well, you don't do anything except sit around, watch TV and 3D print. Your body changes. So
yeah. And it does, and it does change. Because it's funny, because I was actually kind of built back in high school, and then I got into IT, and I worked in the IT field as a systems analyst and tech support, and I did that for 13 years. And sitting down a lot, it took its toll on my body, and I got really big. I've actually lost a lot of it down. I was at 315, now I'm at 255, so I've actually lost a lot of it down. But yeah, even during my radio days, I was a lot bigger because I was just behind the computer the whole time, and I was running businesses. I was an operations manager for 2 different towing companies at the time, and so I was constantly, I was always just sitting down behind a computer and stuff. So I finally decided to start losing the weight and things like that, and that's just been a battle. But yeah, I mean.
Well, we're really going to try to help you get you over 100 subs. Most of the people here, if they already haven't, are going to go over to LithyPics on YouTube and subscribe to you. I have 2,130. I have 2,131 subs, a little over 2,000. And when I get to 2,500, I'm having a big giveaway, and I've got about 7 or 8 companies involved right now. When I hit to around 2,400, when I kind of see how fast I'm growing, I'm going to do a video telling about it. And I'll announce when we're having the giveaway video. That'll be all kinds of goodies. So
I think you should 3D print a nice, big, huge bullet bill bank and give that away, man. There you go. And then autograph it, autograph the side and stuff, and
if it's something like that, I wouldn't want to paint. I'd have to print it in those colors. That way,
that's exactly it is, and that's the beauty of it, is that you print a red one, some white ones, and then black ones, and you've got enough 3D printers that you could be able to do a nice size one like that, and do it all in FDM, and it all fits right up inside. And then you can say, hey, look, Chuey, I've made the bullet bill. Then just give it away.
Yeah, I have lots. The biggest problem with giving away is shipping. I'm not Amazon, and shipping around the U.S. on large objects is extremely expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
So most big prints, to ship them from coast to coast, cost you at least $50, depending where it goes. A guy wanted to buy one of my prints one time in England, and I said, I'll sell it to you for $150, but the shipping is $300. I can't ship it. And nobody in the right mind would pay $300 to ship it, and everybody's so used to Amazon and free shipping, which isn't really free. I mean, I pay $120 a year for Amazon, but I order so much on it that it's like free shipping because I ordered so many packages, but still.
Actually, if you sell on eBay, if you was to list it on eBay and they was to buy it through eBay, you would only have to ship it to an eBay warehouse, and then they handle the shipping international from there. So he technically could have bought that from eBay, and then if you would have to list it on eBay, and then they would handle the international shipping for you, and you wouldn't have to handle that stuff, and you wouldn't have to pay $300 on that. So there is a workaround for it, and then you can even list that on eBay, and then just give him the link, have him buy it, and then just pull it.
I know if you sell through Etsy, they have if you buy everything through them, you can get a big discount from going straight to USPS or FedEx or whoever you're going through.
But eBay does offer it to where you can ship internationally, and they will handle the international shipping and stuff like that. I think it's like $17 is what it costs, but they will handle, because they have specific containers that go to other countries that they can launch out and stuff like that. So that is available. So I do highly recommend that. And like I said, I'm on Etsy. You can look up LithyPic on Etsy. But most of my stuff is going to be on the website. I'm only going to drop certain things on Etsy, and then of course on all the things. If you want a paintable version, you have to come to my website. I don't want you buying everything off of Etsy. Etsy is just to get you in the door and to notice me, and then my website's all over the description and everything else on Etsy, and come to the website, and that's where I go for the websites. And you can actually order the glow cubes. They change 16 different colors. They have 4 different lighting styles. They have a 3-watt LED, costs $5 a year to run nonstop. That's the certain bulbs that I bought that come with a remote control. And I mean, you can literally upload your pictures right on the website. Everything's purchasable on the website, and it gets free. The cubes are free shipping to everybody out there. So, hey, Jules, it is free shipping on the cubes. So on the models, it is not, because with the weight and stuff like that, it varies with the area and stuff when you have to put a bigger model inside of a box and things like that.
Yeah,
I also rent out my
right toward
printers
glass
too.
on every side, and hopefully they'll handle with care, right? Glass.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Well,
insurance, obviously.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, we went over about 15 minutes here than what we wanted to do. But do you have anything you'd like to say to everybody closing out, and then we'll move on?
thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please go over to our, you can go to lithypic.com, then click on videos in the menu right there at the very top, and it'll take you right to my YouTube channel. And then you can subscribe, hit the little bell for notification for when I start to release my videos. I am working on them right now. Also, I do believe, I think I made you a coupon code for anything that was purchased off my website. It gets 10% off if you use 3DHP and the coupon code. Anything on there is 10% off. And yeah, so I did make a coupon code. I forgot to mention to you last night about that. But
Okay.
So yeah, 10% off, and then of course I always throw 10% to the person that is supporting me. So
Well, that's not necessary, but okay. In the description below, once it's posted on YouTube, I'll go back and I'll add that code in. So anybody watching later tonight, tomorrow, next week can see that. If you'd like, I can add that.
And then the website is rather new. I am literally working day and night because I'm photoshopping all my product images and everything else. I am trying to get more stuff up on there. I think I've only got maybe 5 or 6 models on there. I have so much more, and I can 3D print anything from Thingiverse that you would want through my 3D printer rental.
How are the fans on that Panoply? Noisy?
Yeah, they're noisy. I keep them in my basement because it makes them cooler, and then the noise, the fans are really noisy. It's not something that you would want to keep in your main room.
Just streaming down here for questions. And there it is. He asked again.
Yeah, they are noisy, but in all honesty, I mean, you're going to get noise because the amount of, I actually took the LCD screens off and I actually saw the LED array that they have in there. It's insane how much UV light they are pushing through that large area. So all those LEDs, they require cooling, and yeah, so those fans are quite necessary. So when you get into larger print surfaces, that's when the fans are definitely going to be noisy and I do believe that they are wanting to work on a water cooling system for that too as well, which would be really nice if they can do a water cooling system. I would definitely invest in one because then your screens would last a lot longer. But of course you got the monochromes. But
well, thank you very much for coming on, Chuey.
Right,
please stick around. I'll be right back with you.
All right.
Well, that's another great stream we had, guys. Hey, Friday, let me look it up. On 2/19, 4 p.m. Pacific, Build a Droid Series Part 2 will be on. Sam, the real Prentice? No, Sam Prentice? Anyway, I get confused. Sam Prentice and Tripod will be on. There might even be some other people drop into the stream that are also building the droids with us. That'll be over on my channel on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific. So please like, subscribe, share. Go over to lithypic.com and subscribe. Give him a thumbs up. You know, let's help the man get over 100, and then we'll go to 200 and 300 and so forth with everybody. But yeah, and I got that stream coming up here soon where I'm going to be giving away a ton of stuff. I'm at a little over 2,100 subs. When I get around 2,400 on YouTube, I'll do a video talking about the giveaway stream and when it'll be posted. I'm thinking it's going to be a month or 2 away, so I'm slowly creeping up. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, and have a great night and happy printing and happy resin printing.